good, YouTube? Jabbar back with Abdul Aesthetics, and we're going to talk about building muscle. Specifically, heavy weights versus light weights. And just to jump right into it, if you're one of those people who would like to, who either you're doing it now, or you would like to start a bulking and a cutting phase. I say that because there's a lot of people who can stay a certain body fat or a certain size year round, and it just works for them. But if you one of those guys that wants to, I got a call that guy back. You want to get big for a couple months, then lean out for a couple months, bulking and cutting. Of course, I would say that heavy weights, around the 5 to 8 rep range for building muscle. It's usually what I do. I go from 8 to 12, but that's just how, that's what works for me. My body responds to it very well. And, as far as cutting is concerned, I'd say moderately heavy, not too light, but not too heavy. Something you can push for 12 reps and then struggle for an additional how many ever you need, like 3, make it 15, or another 7 to make it 20. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, another 8 to make it 20. But to be realistic, you really only need to focus on the compound movements. When you're trying to build muscle, you're going to talk about bulking right now. When you're trying to build muscle, you really need to only focus, put everything you have into the compound movements. The compound movements are, your bench press, your squat, your deadlifts, and your shoulder press, seated or standing, doesn't matter. That should be the focal point of your workout. When you start your workout, for bulking, you want to start with, let's just say you're doing chest, you want to start with, whatever your preference is, incline bench or flat bench. I prefer incline. But you want to start there, put everything you've got into it. Try to get as much out of that, few sets of bench press that you have. Max it out until you just feel like you can't do anymore. And then you get into the dumbbell flies, the cable crossovers, the push-ups, you know what I'm saying? Things of that nature, the additional work. Same with back. I usually start my back day off with deadlifts. When I do deadlift, I start it off with the deadlifts, give everything I got. Try to go from, I always go from 135 to 500 plus, and then I get, my pull downs and my back rolls. Sometimes I'll sprinkle in some pull-ups, you know what I'm saying? All those things. But, that's really, it's a real simple process to build muscle. I could write a book on, getting big. I mean, I think I should, because it is like the easiest shit in the world. I don't care who you are, nobody is going to convince me that getting lean is easier than building muscle. It's just, you're foolish. Anyway, but on the flip side, cutting weight, like I said, a moderate weight, something you can push 8 to 10 or 8 to 12 reps, and then fight for an additional, 2 to 8 reps to make it an even, 15 to 20 reps that you did with that one set. So if you can dumbbell press, let's just say you're doing chest and you can dumbbell press, the 100 pounds for 5 reps, I'd say drop it down about like maybe 50% to the 50 pounds, and then press that, and then press that for 8 to 12 reps. And by that 12th rep, you're going to be exhausted, and then you push into what you got left for the set. You got your 13 reps, your 14 reps, or 15, or however many you can get. I would stop at 20. You don't want to do too much, because you can do too much when it comes to bodybuilding. But anyway, that being said, just focus on your reps. Focus on finding a weight that works for you. Finding a weight that you can push at least 12 reps with, and then get extra credit. That's what I call extra credit. And from then on out, it's just, trial and error. You can do it with different exercises, different, type movements. You might want to try it with the push-ups instead of the dumbbell press in 1 week. You might want to do it with pull-ups instead of pull-downs. 1 week. You know what I'm saying? It's just all what works for you. And once you get into it, you'll be able to, you know, figure out what works for you, because that's really what this is all about. What works for you. But anyway, with that being said, man, like, share, comment, subscribe, and until next time, deuce. You gave me the feeling.